going on, everybody? It's Matt with Hitmen Sports. I'm here back with episode number 12. I'm here with Sean and Tommy, like always.
What's going on?
How are we doing today?
Yeah, so first we're just going to touch on the new releases of the week coming up. Three pretty decent releases coming out this week. First off, on Wednesday we got Flawless Baseball and Luminaires Baseball. So Flawless, I mean, it speaks for itself. You know, you got the gem cards, all on-card autos. You know, some of the top rookies. It's sick patches. It's always a flawless product. No pun intended, but or pun intended, should I say? But yeah, it's definitely a solid product. So we'll have some of that for sale if you guys are interested. Just shoot us a message or whatever on Instagram or any of the socials, and we can let you know a price on it. Next one is the Luminaires Baseball. Like I said, that's another pretty sick product. Mainly on card, there are some stickers, but they have like multicolored or multiplayer books. One of the more high-end products that Topps releases every year. You got some top rookies in there, like this 2023 class has been. So check out the Luminaries if you're into a higher-end baseball product as well. And then on Friday, Rookies and Stars Football will be releasing. Again, this is just another mid to high-end. Well, I don't want to say high-end, but it's a mid to higher mid-end product. You get a lot of it's 2 autos a box, so that's 28 autos in a case, pretty good, as well as 2 memorabilia. So, and that's 56 autos and memorabilia for a case. That's pretty solid. So, we'll have some of that this weekend coming up for breaks. So, speaking on that, or I'll let Tommy speak on the breaks for the week then.
Yeah.
As well.
So tomorrow, Wednesday night, we will have Absolute. We're going to do a case break of that, PYT it out, and then Friday we'll have Rookies and Stars.
Yep.
So Saturday is actually a no-fee day also for Whatnot, so we're going to be streaming as much as we can during that time period. Should be some really good deals. Head over there, check it out. We'll be doing some PYTs, might post a random break or a divisional depending on what we got going on. Definitely looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. Rookies and Stars is kind of, just like Matt said, it's not necessarily like a high-end product or anything like that, but definitely some fun chases. Looks like T-Law and Jalen Hurts signed from the product sell list.
Yep.
We'll check out the different autos that are also featured in the product. Hopefully some great vets that are included in this one, just like the rest of the products this year.
Yeah, and definitely good value for the price on it. And I forgot to mention that they have the I don't know if there's any true case hits in it, but they have a couple of the bigger inserts like Dress for Success, Cross Training, and Standing Ovation. So check us out this weekend with that. And next we'll move on to our picks segment. Can't remember what did we pick last week.
No, we didn't do any picks last week.
Oh, that's
we
right.
kept it.
We
So
kept
right
it.
now we stand. Tommy's at 30-22, or no, Tommy's at 31-21. I'm at 30-22, and Matt's at 25-27. So going into this week, I guess we'll save our Super Bowl pick for the last. So how about we start? We're going to do some of the awards that they do. So we'll start with MVP, and we'll let Tommy start with his pick for MVP.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lamar. I just think that if you put him, or if you took him off of the team and put him anywhere else, he's not going to be as valuable, and vice versa. The Ravens are not going to get that kind of production out of any other quarterback, and he had a great season. So it's a regular season award. Unfortunately, didn't pan out necessarily in the playoffs, but it's always nice to win a little something.
Yep. So I also took Lamar for most of the same reasons that Tommy just said right there. I mean, the only other person I would consider, which isn't even being up there, is Mahomes. So, but again, it's for the regular season, and Lamar had a better regular season. But again, like I said, if Mahomes was there, I would take him. But they took him out this year, so I just gave it to Lamar.
Yeah, I went with Lamar too. I'm going to piggyback off what Matt said. I can't believe Mahomes isn't even on there. But if you ask me, he is the most valuable player in the NFL. I mean, Mahomes is just the best quarterback. Like, it's hands down, not even close. But all for the people that they have, Lamar is definitely my choice. I mean, the only one that could challenge him that's on there is McCaffrey. But even McCaffrey's not going to beat him. Unless you take Lamar off that team, I mean, unless you give him Mahomes or like Rodgers or some good quarterback, that team's not where they were. So, yeah, I'm going with Lamar. Next is our
Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year. And I'll start that one. I went with D'Amico Ryans. at the start of the year, he was not predicted to win more than like 4 games. They actually had him and the Colts, like the Texans and Colts both winning 4 games in that division. Both definitely overachieved. I'm kind of surprised Steichen at least wasn't mentioned, considering he won 9 games with backup. But what Ryans did, transforming that team with a rookie quarterback and Will Anderson on the defensive line as a rookie, and really a bunch of scrubs. I mean, you had Tank Dell, who ended up getting hurt, and not that good of an offensive line outside of like Tunzel. I mean, they definitely overperformed, and he definitely had them confident and running on all cylinders. So I'm going to go with Ryans. I think he'll. I mean, the only other person would be Stefanski, but I'm going with Ryans.
Yeah, I also went with Ryans. It's the exact same thing, where it's just this really young team that he took, and they really they made their own identity going forward. I think that they, from a 3-13 team, or 3-14 the year before,
They won 4 games.
4 games, so 4-13 to a playoff team. I mean, pretty crazy. And they're really, really young, so they're only going to get better. And I just think as a former player, I think D'Amico Ryans deserves it. I'm excited to see where they kind of go from here.
Yeah, so I took. So I was torn earlier up until the last few weeks of the year. My pick would have been Stefanski, which I think he still could win because, I mean, he made the playoffs with 5 different quarterbacks.
That's
so
insane.
I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. Their defense is great, but I ended up taking Dan Campbell just because of how far they ended up getting. They had they should be in the Super Bowl right now. They just blew it in the second half of that NFC Championship, unfortunately. But I mean, look where they were at 3 years ago, and look where they're at now. So I just think that
he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, hell of a coach, hell of a leader, from what you can see. It looks like somebody that everybody'd want to play for. I mean,
there's a lot of coaches deserving of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Any of the 5 guys that are on there that made the finals could win it for any different reason. But I just think that I mean, D'Amico Ryans isn't a bad pick, but I just think that the Lions are like the darlings of the NFL this year. So that's just how
That's a
it
good
felt.
story.
Yeah, so I just went with Dan Campbell on that one. So
All right. Next will be the comeback player of the year. I'll go ahead and start that one again. I went with Hamlin. How about you, Tommy?
I went Baker.
You went Baker? Okay.
and I went Hamlin as well. So
All right.
don't really have much else to say on it than that. That's just the picks we went with.
Yep. All right. So now defensive rookie of the year. I went with Will Anderson. I thought he was a beast there for the Texans, and it looks like he's just only going to get better. He was hard for a lot of veteran linemen to stop, and I think the Texans, they were really aggressive in the draft last year when they got Stroud and Anderson to make that move with second and third picks or whatever they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out good for them, and it set them up for a very good future. So I went with Will Anderson.
Yeah. So I also went with Will Anderson. I just think that, he had a very solid rookie year. Again, a couple of those guys that were on there, I could see it going any direction. They all played, all the finalists played very well.
They did.
And looked to be locked in starters for the next
Yes.
5 to 10 years for those teams. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, other than, don't have much to say more than what Sean said about it, but I went with Will Anderson as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that it's a really impressive group of players. I would say,
It's
it'd be
drafting,
hard for you
like-
not to say that 5 out of those 5 players passed the eye test. I mean, they're just good football players. With that being said, I just went with the guy that just is the most flashy in my opinion, and it's Jalen Carter. He just had a great year. It might not be the most stats wise, but that's not why Joey Porter Jr. is on there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of effort, and that guy just looks like he's a shoo-in for the Hall of Famer after his first year. Jalen Carter is next level. Definitely excited to watch both. Really, Devin Witherspoon as well is another shutdown
He's a
quarterback
beast,
going
yeah.
forward.
He's
Joey
good.
Porter Jr. is really, really good.
Sees this clean up the penalties, but I mean,
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Other than
As a
that-
rookie to be able to do that and have the second half of the year that he did, pretty incredible group of rookies there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just gonna say, not to deviate too much, but I mean, looking at this draft class right now, you can look at it 10 years from now, and it might be one of the best in the last 15 years overall with all the players that are in it. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, and
So,
to perfectly segue
besides
into that,
2020, this is the best draft in the last 10 years. So.
and to perfectly segue into that, let's go to our picks for Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is straight across the board, Stroud.
Yeah.
I mean, if it goes to anybody else, then it's just straight
There's
robbery.
no way it goes to anybody
Yeah,
else.
it
It's
can't.
Stroud.
I mean,
It's-
God, he
Yeah.
had 5 picks the whole year, right?
Yeah.
He's just kind of that next level guy. And I'm not going to sit here and like gloat about the Pro Bowl or anything, but if anybody saw his throw to the back of the end zone
Yeah.
to Jamar Chase,
Yeah.
it was one of those throws where it's like, yep, that's what we're talking about
Yeah.
when we're talking about like, Mahomes,
Yeah, since
Stroud,
Mahomes, I mean, Jesus, like, I mean, I haven't seen
Caleb
it like
Williams,
this, yeah.
like these are the guys that can make these just unpredictable throws, and then you go up to him and it's like, are you showing off? And it's like, showing off. It's like that's how I make the throw.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year, seems like a lock. A lot of
Yeah.
other
It's
good
just like
rookie
the
years.
intangibles you can't coach. Like, they just, I mean, nobody else can do that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Say, like,
Crazy.
you watch Stroud, I'm not Stroud. If you watch like Caleb Williams, you would think it's Mahomes out there. Like
Yeah, they look the same.
they're exactly the same.
And Stroud continues to kind of push that envelope towards that. He's a pocket style quarterback.
He
but
doesn't
as
move
he
around,
gets
but-
to the outside, it's like, man, this guy can play. It's pretty incredible. And this is no, like, we're not saying Puka didn't have a great year.
Yeah,
Puka
yeah,
had a
yeah.
Oh,
great
Puka
year.
was.
But
It's one thing for
phenomenal.
Stroud. it would've
Yeah,
been-
Yeah,
but
it'd be
Stroud
Puka,
just
hands
was.
down.
But like,
just
yeah,
that
like you're
next
saying,
level.
Caleb Williams is comparable to like Mahomes. I think Stroud is like the next. He looks like the next like Aaron Rodgers, kind of like. the way
It's
he
pretty
plays.
crazy.
The accuracy and the throws he makes, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
and the throwing off balance is,
Yeah, that's
is
what I'm
next
saying.
level.
So that's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, it's definitely. We all went Stroud on that one. So defensive player of the year, I went with Myles Garrett. I watched a few Browns games this year. One of them was against the Colts, and my God, did he give Minshew fits in that backfield? Like, God damn, he was all over him. It was just insane. But yeah, he's a monster. I struggled between him and Watt because Watt is very deserving too, but Garrett's just. I mean, Watt's a game changer too. But my God, Garrett's just a beast.
Yeah, he is.
He's just. You can't stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also went with Myles Garrett, and the overwhelming thing being, again, the eye test.
Yeah.
There was multiple games this year where Myles Garrett would be playing. He's getting double teamed, still winning. So then the game plan completely changes, and it's basically let's just put one person in front of him because it's a body. Like, let's focus elsewhere. It's like
Yeah, he's just-
he just was that sick and that a game breaker from that side, and that's a huge part of that defense had that good of a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Insane.
went with Garrett and scared to see him next year.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
It's a hold of Lamar's leg.
Oh my God, he's so scary. There's a video of him sacking Hundley that it's like one of the most scary things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I also went with Garrett just because I think that's who will win. But I guess being a Steelers fan, I would have. I'd like to see T.J. Watt win it. I mean, all these guys are pretty well deserving. But I just, like I was telling him earlier, right before we started, the main reason I'd go with that, and you can't base it on it's only on this year, but I think their Steelers are something like 1-13 when he doesn't play, or 1-12. So, I mean, he just
Yeah, he's
he completely
difference
changes.
maker.
It completely changes the game.
Yeah.
If it was defensive MVP, I would say that, but as it's defensive player of the year, so. But yeah, so I went with Garrett though because I think he will win it. Both are very deserving, but it's going to be one of the two. So.
Yep.
All right, we'll go on to offensive player of the year. This one was unanimous as well. We all went CMC. Christian McCaffrey is just between his receiving and rushing. Like he had like 2 games where he didn't get a touchdown this year. Like it's just
Yeah. Besides,
That's
I mean, the only other person besides a quarterback that's close to even being a game changer would be like Tyreek Hill, but he doesn't even compare to what he can do. Yeah.
But like one of the sure locks outside of those 2 games is you bet for McCaffrey to get a touchdown.
Yeah, there's only
And a
like
parlay.
what was
It was like guaranteed.
3 games this year. I think
Yeah.
he didn't score or something.
It's just
and I think he
insane.
had like 7 games with multiple TDs. It's like
So
this guy's
it's
just
No,
insane.
I mean, and he's consistent.
You can't bring him
durable. Like he's, I don't know, the guy's next level, and
Mhm.
he definitely showed out on that offense where, there's a lot of moving pieces, and McCaffrey was, man, was he stable. He was definitely had a great year.
The only thing he can't do is throw.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a hell of a
And-
blocker
and-
too.
and you
He's
wouldn't bet against
underestimated
him,
on the
you know?
blocking. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just.
Yeah, for being, I'm not going to say a smaller guy, because he's really not,
No.
but being, as far as other football players on the field, he's a smaller guy.
Right.
And, man, he blows some people up in blocking.
Oh,
He
yeah.
really does. Him and Kittle both.
Yep.
Kittle will take down a 300-pounder and.
Well, just that team in general, the 49ers in general, or their blocking is
Yeah.
is
Debo's the same way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're not like George Pickens. We'll say that. But was that everything?
All we got left is the Super Bowl.
Okay, so
So I'll go ahead and start that one. I wanted to be a little different on the board here, just so we have some different talking points. So I took San Fran. My heart tells me, Casey's going to win because you don't bet against Mahomes and Reed. But I'm going to take San Fran here. Kyle Shanahan is great at drawing up plays. Again, so is Andy Reid. My biggest fear is if Purdy gets rattled, like when the Ravens just smack the shit out of him. If KC's defense does that and he turns into a turnover fest, then I think KC's going to run away with this one. But I think the Niners have the better overall team. I don't like the receivers outside of Rice. I don't like the receivers on KC. I mean, not counting Kelsey,
right.
Tight end. But running back, obviously McCaffrey is way better than Pacheco. But Pacheco's been running angry. Like, God damn, that dude's running. He's running angry.
Yeah.
He's reminding me of Lynch almost these last few weeks.
He is a beast.
But
he went from like a little receiving scat pack to like this absolute just monster.
He's like pissed. He's just like trying to kill people.
Again, and another he was
He's
a seventh round pick, right?
Pacheco?
6th or 7th round.
I think
Right?
he was either 6th or 7th.
So it's like all these running backs, not all of them, but there's so many running backs in the league right now that are either undrafted that are top tier guys, late round picks, or undrafted.
And my roommate, who's huge on the draft, is already saying right now that he doesn't think a single running back's going in the first round. So you can just tell. Like,
there's no point anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
But yeah, so anyway, I went with the Niners, and in case you're interested, check out our eBay. We have a Brock Purdy
that'll be going up
Lunar
tonight.
Eclipse speed helmet up there.
Yep,
It looks
that'll be
awesome.
going up. That'll be active tonight, so you can bid on that or.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Go check it out.
Jumping up before the price drives up.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, so I won the Niners. I'll give it over to the guys here so they can talk about their picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take KC here, and it's really nothing beyond. There's 4 options, right? KC wins big, San Fran wins big, San Fran wins close, KC wins both.
Yeah.
I just can't rule out anything except the one option, which is KC loses big. And to me, that just is exactly all I need to see for this bet. It's like, I think Mahomes is going to play to the score. If KC puts up, or if San Fran puts up 10 points, KC puts up 17. If San Fran goes out there and puts up 30, all of a sudden, I don't think Patrick Mahomes leaves that field without putting up 35. It's just, he's just that guy. And continues to show up and show people that nobody should be doing it. But Sean, I appreciate you for jumping on that grenade this week with a little bit of diversity in the pick.
Yeah, somehow Kelsey found the fountain all of a sudden too.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
So but
He looked like he was just like shitting around all season.
Yeah, like he looked like tired and old, and all of a sudden, boom, here he is.
Yeah, he's like playing in puddles all season, and now
catches,
he's playing football now.
Yeah,
He's getting something from Swift. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's the Swift effect.
Yep.
He bangs him before the game.
He's been a lot more swift ever since now. But so I went with the Chiefs too. I just it's hard to, Mahomes. We were just talking about that too. Mahomes has ever lost in the playoff. He has 2 losses to Brady and 1 to Burrow in the playoffs. But I mean that's just insane.
It is.
In
Yeah,
6
that's
years,
disgusting. That's disgusting to think about.
it's just crazy. So I don't think. I mean, he's already beaten the 49ers once. So that was with Garoppolo though. I mean,
And this is a better team. This is a much better team. This is a much better team.
yeah. So, but
Defensively, this is one of the better teams that's been in the Super Bowl for the past 10 years. It really is.
So, but I mean, it's almost like a pick game. But I'm going with the experience and think Mahomes gets number 3 and I just think that's.
I do think
the way
it's a better game. If it had been the Ravens and Niners, I think the Ravens would have blown them out.
Yeah.
So I think the fans are going to get a better game now. So that's what I think.
I still wish it would have been the Lions and the Ravens, but that's.
I just wish it was the Ravens and anything.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But,
the Lions are the best story. Like that's Cinderella. That would have been great.
I mean, they were, and I will say this every time: the amount of rookies that were starting on that team is really
crazy.
untalked about.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the
Or
Lions are
Penei
definitely.
Sewell, who was still one of the youngest offensive
If
players
they
or
get to the
offensive
Super Bowl,
linemen.
that's a
in the league.
movie.
Well, exactly. And,
That's a movie.
St. Brown, 4th or 5th round pick? I mean,
He's 24. It's like
it's
that
just-
team is so young. They're going to be good for a really long time, especially if Jameson Williams figures out his shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean he started to show up in that game.
Yeah, he did.
Well, he didn't have to catch the ball.
That's true.
Yeah,
Anyway, so he could be like a DBO Samuel, I guess. Yeah,
Sure.
But And we'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks
Yep.
for listening. We appreciate you. Like I always say, just follow us on all the socials and everything so you can keep up to date with all of our breaks. And in the next month or so, we'll be getting our store open, so you'll be getting a lot more content from that. So we're excited for that, and appreciate you guys, and happy Super Bowl week. Take it easy.